Hey, welcome back to Black Lab Garage. Remember my scrap Ferguson TO-30? We're going to try something today. We're going to put it to work. I mean, actual work. We're going to bale hay with it. Maybe. We're going to try anyway. I'm talking about from mowing it to raking it to baling it. We're going to do it all with this little tractor. Hopefully. You ready? Come on, let's get into it. Okay, this sickle mower is a Ferguson 6 AEO B20 6-foot sickle mower. This is what they sold new starting in, I think, 1947 or so. They were actually made by a company called Detroit Harvester. Here's what's interesting. They made them from both Ferguson and Ford, because the Ferguson 6 AEO B20 was also known as the Dearborn 14-1 sickle mower. Same identical mower. The only difference was the Ferguson was gray, Dearborn was red. Outside of that, no difference. Originally, it had a Ferguson tag on it and a Detroit Harvester tag, but these fell off of this mower. I would have showed you me hooking it up, but to be honest, if I would have recorded that, well, this video wouldn't have been very family oriented. So, we got it on here, and now let's do some mowing with it. Hopefully. Well, now that we got it mowed, we got to rake it. This right here is a Ferguson DEO20 hay rake. They sold a bunch of these things, because actually Harry Ferguson North America was the first to develop the modern side delivery rake. And if you have one of these, If you're curious to know roughly when it was made, there's always a date cast into these cast spiders. These were cast November the 10th of 1948. So this thing was built sometime November, December of 1948. They do a good job. The one thing about these were designed to be for the tractor to be ran in 4th gear. It kind of runs the rake too fast if you run them in 3rd gear. If you had to run them in 3rd, they made a PTO reduction speed box. Well, I call it a box, but it's really not. It's just a sprocket that went on down here, and up here there's a bigger sprocket, and your power takeoff shaft would go up here, and it slowed the rake down. If you had a 9N, they made a pulley and sheave kit that you put on there that would slow the rake down that way, because of course 9Ns only had 3rd gear. So let's get this hay raked. You probably noticed that I'm running the tractor in 3rd gear. Why? Just because it's hard to hold a camera and drive the tractor straight in 4th gear. But trust me when I say these rakes were meant to be run the tractor in 4th gear. So don't do as I'm doing. I'm just doing it so I can video it for you. Well, now comes time to bale. Now here's the thing. Lots of people bale with little Fergusons and 8Ns and stuff. But those balers had Wisconsin engines on them that powered a baler. We're going to bale using a power takeoff shaft. Using the tractor itself. Will it work? Well, I'm pretty sure it will. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go try to bale some hay. One thing I want to say about that baler right there, that actually belonged to my grandfather. They bought it new in 1958 and pulled it with a Ferguson TO-30. I would have his notepad from 1958 to 1961 using a little TO-30, which it had a Wisconsin motor on its end. But pulling it with a little TO-30 with that Wisconsin motor on it, they were still baling between 8,000 and 10,000 square bales a year with this baler and a little Ferguson TO-30. Of course, like I said, it had a Wisconsin motor on it. So we're going to try it off the power takeoff shaft, see how it does. They look good. You wouldn't believe that, would you? Old Ferguson baling hay. I know while it's baling right now, you can hear the motor like, That's normal. That's plunger. Every time that it packs the hay, that's what's doing it. It'll do a diesel the same way. I mean, that's perfectly normal. Don't think it's like something wrong. Baled 26 bales. Now you might have noticed there's not overrun clutch on mine. The reason being, these balers have an overrun clutch built into them. Now if your baler doesn't have an overrun clutch built into it, make sure you put an overrun clutch on your PTO shaft. Otherwise, when you try to mash a clutch in, you can't get it out of gear, and the baler's just going to keep pushing you because of the flywheel. But this one has an overrun clutch, so it's safe to use. I can't speak on other brands though. Well, what do you think? Are you surprised? I am a little bit, but at the same time, not really. These little Fergusons are really, really tough tractors. And sorry to all you red belly 80 Ford fans, but a TO-30 will pull the lungs out of an 80 Ford. But still yet, baling hay, that'll pull one down, but it came through with flying colors, and I wasn't even running the tractor that hard. So that answers the question. Can you make hay with a $950 scrap tractor? Absolutely. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know I had fun doing it and making the video, you know. But be sure and hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Me and the pups will be back with another one. And don't forget, listen to more Goose Creek. See you.